What's going on, family? Welcome back to another video. I'm in the office. Okay, technically this is my son's classroom, which is why we got the whole little schedule up here. Don't worry about that. Don't worry about that. I do want to show you guys something. My brother is a digital artist, okay? And I took some self-portraits. They're like my first self-portraits ever, and I was really nervous about it. He took one of the images that I had of myself and he drew it. Look at this. How amazing is this? This is one of the gifts he got me for Christmas, and I absolutely love it. So I'm gonna put it up on this wall so y'all can look at it, because it's cute. Thanks, Davin. All right, y'all, let's get into it, and welcome to my first episode of Let's Talk About It. Let's Talk About It is a series that I started actually on Instagram, but I'm gonna bring it to YouTube because I feel like we can have some really good conversations. The reason why I started Let's Talk About It is there's so many topics when it comes to photography, models, makeup art, just like that whole creative relationship that a lot of people don't really like to talk about, or they only talk about it with certain people. So I like to bring those topics out in the open, give my opinion on it, and I'd like to hear from you guys too. So today's topic is gonna be 5 things I think are necessary to know when reaching out to models. Things to keep in mind, things to ultimately do. Reaching out to models is probably one of the most vulnerable things that you can do as a photographer. You have an idea, you want to reach out to them, you want them to be willing to work with you, and you want them to be excited about it as well. And a lot of times we are starting out and we don't necessarily want to pay for a model. So it's like, how do I communicate my idea without sounding possessive, weird, or I don't know, too interested? So here are some things that I think are helpful when approaching a model, things to keep in mind, and what have made me successful. I haven't really had anybody turn me down and say, no, I don't want to work with you. I think I've had a couple of people just not say anything. I'm probably still in the requested. They probably saw it, but didn't reach back out for whatever reason. But I haven't had a lot of cases of anyone ghosting me where they say they want to do it and then they back out. And these are the things that I think contribute to that. So let's get into it. Number 1, don't be weird. Don't be weird. And I think this is gonna kind of be tailored to the men's, okay? I'm not trying to bash y'all or nothing, but a lot of times men may think when approaching a female model that they want her to feel that they're attracted to her, or they find her attractive in order to get her to say yes, or she'll be more willing to work with you because you think she's attractive. That's not it. Don't do that. Don't do that. That's weird, okay? If you're reaching out to work with a model, it goes without saying that you find something about her attractive or worth capturing. So you don't have to be sliding in her DMs, liking all her pictures, giving her hard eyes. Like, those typically are things that you do when you're interested in someone, period. Not interested to work. If you're approaching someone and you want to work with them and it's strictly work, talk work. Duh. You don't have to do all the extra stuff in order to seem like, oh, I'm interested. If you're reaching out to someone and you say, hi, I'd love to work with you. Are you available? This is my idea, blah, blah, blah. Like, obviously you see something about me that you want to capture. So don't be weird. Approach in a respectful manner. And if it's business, keep it business. If it's not business and it's pleasure, that's on you. But word gets around real quick, okay? Let's talk about it. All right, we're gonna talk about that on another video, but let's move on to number 2. Number 2, have a plan or idea. Before you even reach out, have something in mind, okay? I've talked to so many models and they say someone reached out like, oh, I'd love to shoot you. And they're like, okay, cool, like I'm down. And then crickets or whatever you wanna do. It's a little nerve-wracking and kind of annoying when someone comes to you requesting a photo shoot, or even as a photographer, someone comes to me requesting a photo shoot and they have no idea what they want. I just want you to take my picture. Okay, but what? What do you want me to capture? How do you want me to capture it? Where do we want to capture? Come to the model with a plan. When you have a plan that shows them that you're serious about your time and you're serious about their time as well. So when you come come with some type of something, a color, a concept. Have everything ready to go so that when you approach them, it gives them like, okay, they actually put some thought into this. Like, I'm willing to sacrifice my time to be with this person. And I think it could be beneficial for the both of us, because if I see that you're serious about the shoot, I'm going to come serious about the shoot. And I'm not going to want to let you down almost, you know? It's like if I come really excited, I've had models, I reached out to them and I was nervous about it, like sweating and everything, just because like no one likes to be turned down, okay? We don't like it. But as a photographer, if that's what you want to do, a market you want to work in, you have to get over that, have confidence in yourself, and just go in. The worst they can say is no. And there's so many other people in the world that you'll find someone, right? But when I've reached out to models, I've literally led with like 3 paragraphs. And that's just me. I'm a little extra when it comes to things like that. But I lead the conversation. Hi, my name is Bree. I'm a photographer. I've been a photographer for such and such years. I really love your look. This is something that I have had in my heart or in my mind for a long time. And I really think you'll be able to pull off this concept. It's such and such. I'm not really sure about the location or the date quite yet. If you're interested, like what's your availability? Please let me know. I look forward to hearing from you. Wow. Oh my gosh. It's really simple. It's really, really simple. You don't have to have everything laid out all from the beginning, but show that you actually put some thought into what you're doing, and it won't come off as like, okay, you're just trying to waste my time, or you know what I'm saying? So keep that in mind. Come with an idea or a plan before you even reach out, so it doesn't seem like you're wasting their time. Number 3, since we talking about time, let's not waste it. As photographers, we hate when people waste our time. That's one of the biggest gripes that we have. Don't inquire if you ain't ready to pay, okay? Don't do this DMing and emailing back and forth just to tell me that, ooh, my hair scared me. You see my braid come down? That scared me. Anyways, don't email me back and forth talking about, oh, I want to do this and I want to do that, and my rates are on my website and you haven't even looked at my website. Then when I give you the rate, you disappear. Why are we doing that? Don't do that. So as a photographer, let's give models that same courtesy. Go lead the conversation, and when they respond to them back. Let's not do this whole cat and mouse thing. If they want to work with me, they'll come. I don't know how many times I've heard a photographer say that, like, well, if they really wanted to work with me, they would reach out again. Are you insane? Are you insane? Don't do that. Don't have that mentality. You want your time respected, let's respect their time as well. So when you book the shoot and they say yes, be there on time, and on time is before they get there. Make sure that if you did get a makeup artist or something like that, like kind of keep everybody's time respected, because we want our time respected. You want them to show up on time, you show up on time. Respond in a timely manner, okay? Yes, I know we're all busy. We have families, we have this, we have that, we're running businesses. Great, dandy. Don't reach out until you have time to communicate in a good manner. And I know that sometimes models don't be responding back and all of that, but if you do those first 2 steps, I promise you that will set the tone for how they're going to communicate back with you, because you approached in a way that was like, look, I'm serious, okay? This is what I have in mind, and if not, I'm gonna move on. And you can even kind of say that, but respectfully. Like, if you're not down for it, I'd appreciate, like, just let me know and I'll go and look for someone else, but I hope you're having a great day. So that way they know that, like, I don't have a problem with you saying no, but just say no, so I'm not sitting here waiting for you to respond. You know what I'm saying? So it's a balance of just respecting each other's time, everybody involved. Respect. RESPECT. Find out what it means to me. Okay, relax. Let's move on. Number 4, be upfront about your intentions. I've heard some crazy stories, okay, from these models about, you know, they were asked to do a collab, they did the collab, and then after that, the photographer was like, okay, well, if you want the pictures, you got to pay for them. Oh, is it a collab or not? You want a collab to have my picture and I don't get anything in return? What do I get in return? That you took the picture? How do I know if it's good? Like, don't you want me to post it? Like, all of those things. Now, I don't care if that's your thing. You're like, okay, the collab is the fact that I'm even using my camera to take your picture. Cool, that is fine and dandy. If that is gonna be the agreement and you want them to pay for their images, you need to say that up front. You need to lead with that. Do not bamboozle people and wait for them to get to the photo shoot before you decide to tell them that there's gonna be some money exchange involved, because that leaves a bad taste in the model's mouth and it feels like they were swindled or they were lied to because you never mentioned that. So definitely be upfront with what you're trying to do, what the project is for. Sometimes people are using the pictures and they have like a brand or they want to submit to a magazine. Like if those are your intentions, make sure you say that up front, especially if you're dealing with models with agencies, because it's not going to do anything but bite you in the butt. Okay. I had a particular situation where I was still new at, kind of like doing the more creative stuff and submitting to mags. And I had a shoot that I did with a couple models and I was so excited about it. It came out way better than I had imagined. And it was time to submit. One of the models that was there was actually a part of an agency. And the agency asked me to sign like a collaboration contract. And when I read over it, it just said like, don't sell, like if you sell the images, like just come and talk to us so we can work something out. And I'm like, well, that's fine, because like I don't plan on selling them. But the pictures did so well, I was like, wait a minute. I might, somebody might want these. People acting like they want them for real. But it put me in a box because now I have to talk to someone else that's not even the model and like negotiate my photos that I took that they were in and give them even though I always am an advocate for models and making sure they're paid and well taken care of, that it's not something that I would be like, I ain't paying nobody. I didn't have that mentality, but just the fact that there's all these like little lines that I couldn't cross, child, I probably won't ever do that again, unless it's for like something specific, like it's a specific project and I need models, I'm working with the agency, cool. But just for a collaboration, depending on what that contract looking like, I don't like being boxed in like that. So I did end up being able to be published in a magazine. It came out beautifully, but any extra steps that I was gonna take, it just kind of discouraged me from doing so. So please make sure you're upfront with your models with what you want to do, what's your process of editing, when do you think they're going to get their photos back, things like that. Collaborations, we all know as photographers, are pushed down. Like after the client work gets done, when I have time, I work on it. What I typically do when it comes to collaborations is I give the model a contract. It explains what my processes are, how many photos they're gonna get, and what the turnaround time is. So I typically guarantee about like 5 to 8 images for collaborations, but I typically give more because I'm so excited about it. I want them to have their images. And I let them know that it may take 2 weeks, and the contract changes depending on my workflow and what's going on with my schedule at that time. So it may be 2 weeks, it may be 5 days, it may be a month. So that way they know coming into the shoot exactly what to expect from me, how long they're going to have to wait, and things like that. Make sure you communicate up front with your model what your intentions are and how you want to move going forward to avoid any miscommunication. Last but not least, number 5. Now this one may hurt some feelings. It may, ruffle little feathers, but I think this is probably the most important tip to keep in mind. And it is, be honest with yourself, okay? A lot of times there's this high expectation for whenever you ask somebody to work with you, they should say yes. Now, there is one major factor to that, and it's if they like your work. If the quality of your work is not the greatest, it'll probably behoove you to move into that conversation as an amateur. Be honest. Say, I'm just starting out. I'm trying to add to my portfolio. Would you be willing to be a model for this concept that I have? Keeping in mind all the other tips that I gave you, because that'll be like, you know what? They're trying, they're being serious. And even then, everyone still has the choice to say no. They don't have to say yes. Say it with me. They don't have to say yes. Thank you. They don't
have to. So getting an attitude with a model because they don't want to work with you on a collab basis, stop doing that. Save your emotions for something else, okay? But be honest with yourself. If you know that you need to work a little bit more, yes, you want to be proud of your work. You want to make sure that you enjoy your work, you like what you're doing, but at the same time, you know when you need to do better. Like when I was just starting out, I know my composition could have been better. I know my color grade could have been better. I was not retouching my pictures in the beginning. So I'm looking at everybody else and I'm looking at my pictures. I'm like, you're going to get some pores. You're going to get some skin. You're going to get some flyaways. You're going to get all kinds of things. You might have a bump on your face that I probably could have removed, but I wasn't even thinking like that. You know what I'm saying? So be honest with yourself and be like, you know what? I'm probably not going to get everybody's excitement about working with me because my work is really just not there yet. So just be honest, be upfront. I'm trying to work up. I need the practice. So the only way for you to get better is to practice. So be honest with the model and say, look, I'm just starting out, or maybe you're not starting out, but like you want to get better. You know what I'm saying? Be honest in that aspect and not present yourself as, you know, you should want to work with me as too prideful or things like that. You shouldn't really be prideful at all. I don't care how good your work is. A no is a no and a yes is a yes. So take what you can get and keep it pushing. You know what? This is a bonus tip, okay? This is a bonus tip. This one's free, all right? A lot of times as photographers, we hang out with other photographers, right? So don't be afraid to ask your photographer friend to either maybe, you know, reach out to one of their models. If you see someone that they've worked with that you would enjoy working with, ask them, like, do you think such and such would want to work on this project with me? And they may be able to, you know, put in a little word for you. Or I've seen some people, they just ask them anyway. They see a model that has shot with somebody else that they know and they reach out to them probably off of like relationship. You know what I'm saying? You see that they work with them, so it gives you a little boost of confidence like, oh, maybe they'll work with me. I know that is such a vulnerable place and situation to reach out to someone, especially a model, and ask them to work with you and do your idea, work with you on a project. And there's so many different factors, whether the model's coming with their hair done, are you providing wardrobe, are you asking them to look through their own wardrobe? There's so many different things, and that's a whole nother video. And if you guys want me to talk about those things, what's appropriate for you to request for a model to get done, whether it's nails, hair, their outfits, and what's not appropriate and what that looks like. Should they be compensated if you are requesting those things? If that's a video that you guys want me to do, drop it down in the comments, or if there's any questions or comments that you have regarding this topic, let me know in the comments and let's talk about it. If you enjoyed this video, please make sure to subscribe, like, and comment. I truly appreciate you guys rocking with me, and I hope you've been enjoying the content. This is my first little talky video, you know what I'm saying? So let me know how you guys like the series that I just started, and let me know some things also that you would want me to talk about in the comments. Bye!